in December, and we're going to look at 2019, and I imagine that there will still be some fundraising on the plate, but we're hoping that we're going to be applying for some other funding options, and we're hoping that we will be able to, through funding and fundraising and just kind of creating all of this awareness, we'll be able to generate some more support for 2019, and then hopefully we'll kind of have a picture of what things will look like moving forward in 2020. I say that because because we've changed so much and we've had to evolve so much that it's hard to kind of say, I guess like how the money flows and how the programs flow, because we've kept adding more and more programming to keep up with these amazing kids. Like, I think it would be much easier if we were like, hey, this is the theater program and it's not going to change. Yeah. Just sign up, whatever. Yeah. We could, just level off and be fine. But we continually want to evolve, and we continually want to challenge these young artists. And as they develop, we develop too. We have to create, like Jamie started a class in the Meisner technique. And I'm not, that's like even above me. I'm like, okay, this is fancy theater, because I'm more on the music side. So yeah, it's very it's an intense course, very intense course. Like, this is like university level or beyond that. And there's a group of, I think, 10 kids that are taking that course, which is awesome. Yeah, it's incredible. And like I said, the youth choir that keeps evolving as well, and all of our amazing music students. So yeah, I think we're getting to a point now where we're starting to kind of look at the programming and be like, okay, we want to offer this. We want to offer this. Like we mentioned before, Peter and the Starcatcher, that was the first time we did like a big production there with all youth involved. And I think like that was fantastic. It went so well. We're going to do that every year. That we're like, okay, that is done. That is great. What an awesome opportunity. So we're looking at doing another one now this spring.
Yeah, I really hope that when you do those big, like that, the disappointing thing for me, and it's not because there were a lot of people there, but the thing was, it was so good that I wish that more people could have seen it for their own benefit. Right? Because it was such a good show that there's people, I wish you could have seen that. You would have loved that. You know what I mean? Because it was such a good show. And so I really hope that a lot of the fundraising, one thing fundraising does in addition to raising money is create awareness, because you're out there doing, and the kids are out there. I mean, they're out there singing.
They are,
they're doing the improv. What are the fundraising events coming up now in December? What do you have?
Coming up, well, we have we've been doing these improv and musical theater nights. We started doing them in the summer, and they just were a hit, and we've continued them now throughout the fall. So we've been doing one a month. So this is an opportunity for students to do some improv comedy, which the audience enjoys and they love learning about. So they're getting better and better at that every time they do it. And also this town loves musical theater, so we've been having students perform musical theater selections. So it's a great fundraiser because the audience loves coming out to see it, and also these kids get opportunities to perform and grow. So every time they perform, they get better. I find you learn so much in a performance that you'll get out, not just out of a practice space. You'll get so much when you're on your own practicing or with your teacher practicing, but there's nothing like a performance to really have something sink in my opinion, especially with vocal performances, I just find. So that's happening. We're going to do another one November 30th. So that's exciting. That's happening at the new Pentecostal church here in Gander. They have a beautiful brand new space. So we're upstairs in, I think, their multi-purpose room, which is lovely. They have a lovely little stage and everything. So that's happening November 30th. And then we have, our Christmas presentations and productions with our theater. So our youngest group does their Christmas show December 2nd at St. Martin's Hall. And then our kind of bigger group, that's the senior youth theater class. So they have a lot of experience. They're doing a Christmas dinner and a show, which is happening at the Quality Inn Theater, and that's on December 7th. You can get tickets for that at beyondtheoverpass.ca. And then our other production group are kind of our junior high ages. They're doing their production on December 9th. So there's a lot happening within that kind of span of a week. And then we've got our music recitals. We do Christmas music recitals, and all of our students are involved in that, which is really fun. So that's December 13th and 14th at St. Martin's Cathedral. And then we have a big choir concert, which is always really fun. So we're collaborating with other groups, community groups as well. So Beyond Youth Choir will be featured, as well as Alta Voce Chamber Choir and the Fraser Road United Church Handbell Choir. And we have some performances by like alumni of Beyond and some other local performers. So that's really fun. We usually raise some money for Beyond and for the food bank and kind of spread it around for the church. So we raise money for different things. We do that every year as a kind of community event, and that goes over really well. We have another, I don't know how much chance to talk about it, but I guess I'll talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
So there's over the summer, I guess I can talk about it. Over the summer, one of the people that came to visit us, two of the people that came to visit us on kind of these workshop tours, I didn't mention it before, Julie Garnier and Sean Pennington.
Right.
So Sean and Julie are members of the Come From Away tour company. So they are currently touring North America. And I think they open in LA next week. So at the end of November, they're opening in LA, and they've been traveling around for the past, I don't know, few weeks for sure, maybe a couple months. So Julie is, she's one of the swing actors. So she covers like a whole pile of roles on Come From Away. And Sean is the stage manager. So he and Julie came in and I think spent like 2 or 3 hours chatting with a group of our kids. They came to visit Gander and basically learn about Gander in August before they went into rehearsals for Come From Away. One really cool fact, too, was Sean was the stage manager for the touring company of Peter and the Starcatcher. So we had a great chat because, half the students there had been in the show. So we were all, having a nice kind of like throwback to Peter and Starcatcher and had a great discussion there. And Julie was wonderful. Julie was, she's like a, I don't know, Disney princess for Frozen too. She works for Disney. So she's like singing Frozen for us and giving a lot of advice to our young actors. So they had a great connection with the kids and they heard about our fundraising and what we do. So part of the, I guess, like mandate of Come From Away is basically to, spread kindness, like pay it forward. That's a huge thing for the cast and crew of Come From Away. I think they all pledged. They basically made a pledge to help fundraise for different events, each member. So Julie's pledge was to fundraise for Beyond the Overpass and for the Gander Eats Arts Festival. So she is holding a fundraising concert on December 17th in LA, and she's donating all the proceeds to the Gander Eats Arts Festival and Beyond the Overpass, which is amazing. That is very, very exciting.
That is amazing. So
it is amazing.
yeah. And I guess, I shouldn't be surprised because, you brought these people came in and talked to the kids, and this group of kids, they are very impressive kids. I mean, they
sang for Julie, like they got up and sang for her, and like, they all sang together, and I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. And so you would want to support that. And especially if you're in a production that is about this town, and the area that, and what they did. And I haven't seen an actual production of Come From Away, but I was at the Gander show when they did it way back. Someday, I feel like it's going to have a long, long, long run, so I will have the opportunity. Hopefully the next time I go to Ontario, I'll get to go to see it somewhere, but because it's in Toronto. But the fact that they're actually taking the message of come from away and paying it forward or paying it backwards in some sense is wonderful. And so so the kids will probably think that's really cool too when they realize that, that people in LA will care, because they'll have a great turnout and do well with that, and I think it also gives them the message that the world's bigger than you might think when you're just doing a play in Gander,
You
that
never
it has
know.
reach, because the arts they do have reach, and people take messages away from a performance and take it home with them and sit in it. I just saw oh my gosh, Freddie Mercury movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, and it, and of course I know all the music, and I know the film was, the story's not exactly 100% what happened, but I mean, it's creative, but it's enough of reality to and you sit with the lessons, you're I drove back from St. John's and it was in my head, and I'm like, this and that and the other thing, and it's like art sits with you, right? That's what you take home, and it makes you think about things, and when he was diagnosed with AIDS, for example, HIV/AIDS, it was a death sentence, and it was for him, but I know people living with it for, nearly 30 years. And it was a death sentence for them, but they lived, so, so there's all these things that comes out of going to see or be a part of an artistic, we'd have a pretty dull life without it. And so, that's wonderful that this fundraising, and the funds won't hurt either. So
no, exactly.
But it's really
just wonderful that she decided to do this. She kind of planned this whole thing on her own, and she's getting some of her friends and other Come From Away cast, I think, to perform the concert. Like, she's just an amazing person. And she has so much in common with these young people too. And just sharing in how hard you have to work and what you have to do, and talking about, building an audition book and things to audition with, different songs, different genres. Like, it was just such an incredible conversation. And I think that the kids and her really connected with each other, really made a connection.
And what you're doing in Gander, and this is what I always talk to my girls about, is that this is actual work. This is, if you're an actor or if you're in the arts, you're not just in there playing. It is actually work.
Exactly.
It's a job. It's a great job. It's, but there's challenges. And, if you're going to be an actor, you have to build resume, and you have to have credits that, and you have to, do these things, and learning that, and very important is actual stage experience, like performance experience.
Yeah.
And so these kids who are
experience, training, so important.
And so these kids who are 10, by the time they're 20, they've been performing for 10 years.
Exactly.
That's experience that you don't get automatically. Providing a stage is huge. Providing stage, providing an audience is huge for these kids, and so I think it's wonderful what you're doing in there, and I would, I would ask you what your ultimate vision is, but it seems like it keeps shifting.
Well, I think it's always been to just expand the arts, like just to create, create the arts in Central, like have my ultimate vision is, because Gander's been known as, and I don't know about Lewisport, but I know Gander's definitely known as kind of a sports town, which is great. We love sports. But there are so many artistic people here that I think that we can really just shape the community. And I think that it just really provides such a beautiful way for a community to grow is through art. And so I think we would love to see I know a lot of our students are interested in a career in this. We would love to see, these young artists from Gander, this small town, go out into the world and bring their love of performing and bring their training into the world, and just, spread the world with
and there really
beauty.
There really is no reason that they can't.
There's no reason they can't. Exactly.